from the ancient time in our culture. And then moving to Vedic periods, where you all mentioned and our researchers mentioned that through our Rig Vedas, through our Vedas, they have studied yoga. And one of our previous chair was also specialized in Patanjali Yoga, which we all, even the layman, is very much aware that what Patanjali Yoga is. Next, please. And then how this yoga is evolving into modern tourism. And through the colonial period, if we look, not only Indians, Western scholars studied yoga, and they introduced yoga to the global audiences. And then we are moving to post-independence era, where it is yoga places, yoga schools are turning into a form of pilgrimages places, and people are coming as a tourist to have it as a spiritual tourism. And then these places were established, our infrastructure got improved, and these were turned out to a modern pilgrimage, like you can say retreats and ashrams. And in the digital age, we have online platforms to study yoga, or to even the online tourism is coming into existence now. Next, please. I studied main 3 destinations. The first is very much close. I'm not sure it's close to Haridwar or it's a part of Haridwar. It's Rishikesh. Okay, thank you. And yoga is a capital of the world. Rishikesh is a yoga capital of the world. And 60% visitors or a tourist coming to India, they are mainly landing to Delhi first, and then to Rishikesh for the yoga people, which is very significant. Even like I'm working in UAE, and most of my colleagues, they would like to visit India and then first go to Rishikesh and do the retreats with the yoga and all. And if you see, we have 200 registered yoga schools within Rishikesh. It might be more, but this is just statistical data I got from the government websites, or what is published in the papers. And then we have around 5 lakhs international visitors only in the Rishikesh. The figures are high, but this is data that I got documented. Traditional institutions like Paramnath, Niketan, and Sivandana ashrams are the main prominent places that people, they come and they visit. Second one, please. And then we see the situation of spiritual tourism or the cultural practices within Varanasi, which is one of my personal favorite place. I'll say it was a cultural capital of India at one stage, but currently I'm not very much aware of this. And if we see the 88 ghats, they are still maintained, and these things are now taking commercial figure in these days, and they are mainly focusing into Hindu spirituality. Next, please. And combining with the religious practice and spiritual practice, we are coming to the main, which is also India is famous for its wellness, like as yoga, and we can call its brother or sister or sibling, Ayurveda. And Kerala, which is prominent part of South India, it's very much popular for its Ayurvedic treatment. Visitors come there, and they get retreats, and they have like from authentic experience to according to commercialization. There are so many retreat centers that they can visit. Next, please. And it is not only giving recognition to India, it is giving benefits to economic benefits to India as well. We have according to data, we have our income, our GDP increasing per year, and employment opportunities. Our infrastructure is improving, and our foreign exchange relations are improving. Next, please. But apart from this, we have so many challenges that we are facing. What are these challenges? Are these teaching schools are authentic? Are they teaching in the real way? As like you chairs, like you are giving your input, we can improve this. These universities are authentic, professors are certified, but giving, like I'm just quoting as an example, giving like 3 months or like 1 month or 6 months certification that you can be a yoga teacher. Are these authentic things that are happening? These are the threats to our, this is I'm giving a critical, constructive, critical criticism to this. Are these authentic things that we are trying to maintain, or we need to look onto these things? Next, please. Especially after COVID, we are facing digital era. Many things have moved on to a digital platform. We have yoga, online yoga. Are these authentic? Are these maintaining the rules or protocols that we should have? And so many things. Is this reducing tourism or is it increasing tourism? What is the impact going to happen on this industry? Next, please. So after reviewing all this, I am suggesting, based on my reviews, that there should be some framework or some protocols that we can include to maintain sustainable, a way between integrating yoga and tourism, which is like, if we maintain all these protocols, we maintain authenticity, we should have cultural preservation, economic sustainability, environmental protection, community involvement, authentic experience. All this will make a sustainable tourism. Next, please. And to implement this sustainable tourism, we are proposing some implementation strategies. We need to establish our contact with the stakeholders, as this university is inviting so many people. There are conference calls. Like, I'm one of the example that I didn't have anything to do with yoga, but still I felt that this is an international conference, that I will get insight from this conference. So, and then we need to take quality measures and education initiatives, and what are the community benefits? We need to involve community as well into this. The most important is environmental conservation. We need to think about the environmental degradation as well. Next, please. And then what are the future trends that we can think about making filling the gap between this yoga, our traditions and modernity? For sure, everyone is aware of this artificial intelligence merging into our lives these days. And subconsciously, or you can say, sure, we'll conclude this. And this is having effect on our mental health. So we need to take care of all this, how these digital things are affecting our health, and then how this health or this sector can take into tourism industry. Next, please. Next, please. So we need to make balance between this authenticity and commercialization. We need to do sustainable practices. We need to maintain technology integration very carefully, and we need to promote community engagement within the society. That's all. Thank you very much.